England manager Roy Hodgson, he left vacant the West Brom job, did a fantastic job with West Brom, probably helped him get the England job, you know, bringing him into people's thoughts, up to 10th there, that's where they finished. He left the job vacant. It would seem, looking at the betting, that Steve Clarke, who was assistant to Kenny Dalglish at Liverpool, will be taking the hot seat there.
Yeah, and that tells you straight away that you'd expect it was Roy Hodgson who's maybe given a word. Obviously, he followed him to Liverpool under Dalglish. And it's a real test. I mean, he's going to be his first time as a manager. They say he's a great coach. I've never worked with him, played against him. But for him to then go there, it'd be West Brom's third manager in 3 seasons. It will be tough. He needs to get off to a good start. Otherwise, people are going to say, you're a good coach, but you can't manage. It's unfair.
And it's big pressure, isn't it? You know, because to finish 10th in the Premier League is some achievement, especially where Roy took them when he took over.
Yeah, and then you've got to look at who Steve Clarke's going to bring as his number 2, because Steve Clarke has been well known to being a very good number 2 himself.
All right, it is the Fans Forum, your chance to have your say, and now Mark Smith, a West Brom fan, joins us. Mark, very good evening to you. Is Mark joining us on the Skype wall? There he is. Good evening, Mark.
Good evening, hi.
You've got a smile on your face, so I take it you're very happy with the pending appointment, which we believe will be announced very soon.
Well, I am quite happy, actually, because I think we've got to be realistic. I think we were very lucky to have Roy Hodgson for 15 months, and I think there's no kind of secret about the fact that he knew the England job was coming up, and it's doubtful that he'd have stayed. So I think, you know, the fact we had him at all was a bit of a blessing. And then when looking at who's going to replace him, I know it's taken us a long time, but that's the way Dan Ashworth does things. He's a fairly meticulous sort of person. And you've got to bear in mind that Jeremy Peace doesn't throw his money around. So anyone who would have required a compensation package like Chris Hughton was probably looked less attractive to him. So in a way, they call their manager, or we call our manager, a head coach. So I think the fact that he's not managed before, I don't think it's that much of a disadvantage, because he probably will be playing the role of head coach, and Dan Ashworth doing quite a lot behind the scenes.
Yeah, but the big problem you've got there is, Mark, and I'll go on record and say I hope he does a great job. But West Brom, I like the way that West Brom go about their job. Even when the things are not going for them, they seem to always smile. And I don't know what sort of history they've got there, but they seem to be grateful for anything. Now, a number 2 going into a number 1's position, he's always been the man to being lent on. Now, all of a sudden, he's going to have to get someone, and he's going to be doing the leaning. And I just don't know whether that's his role. We'll find out. But I think it is a gamble, Mark.
Oh, I think it is a gamble. And, you know, it may well be that other things being equal, he wouldn't have been the first choice. But I wouldn't have wanted anyone who would have had inappropriate I mean, there was talk of them talking to Ranieri. That would have been a catastrophe. And I don't really know much about Rangnick. But as I say, somebody with a bit of managerial experience, but not unrealistic expectations. So I suppose the minute Roy Hodgson went, everyone was talking Chris Hughton, and I think that would have been a good appointment. But I think the trouble is Birmingham would have wanted a couple of million compensation, and as I say, Jeremy Peace is not a man to put his hand in his pocket if he doesn't have to.
Steve Clarke's record, though, as a coach, and let's face it, let's all remember, of course, as a player, I mean, you played against him, Flash, didn't you? And he played, 400-odd games for Chelsea, but as a coach, he worked under the special one. Now, you'd have to be pretty special yourself to work under the special one.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, he's got fairly good coaching credentials, hasn't he? I mean, he came through the Chelsea school, I think, and then he was there, and he had spells at Newcastle as well, didn't he? And then Liverpool. But as I say, I hope that the way we're set up and structured means that you know, not having managerial experience won't be as important as it might be at some places, because I mean, since the days of Di Matteo, I mean, he was called a head coach, and so was Roy Hodgson, was called head coach. So perhaps some of the other stuff is you know, done by Dan Ashworth behind the scenes, really. I mean, I don't know how many people he's going to bring in. I know the Albion have been quite loyal to people they've had on the coaching staff for a while. I expect old Dean Kiley will stay as the goalkeeping coach, and Downing will probably still be there or thereabouts. So it'll be interesting to see how many people he brings in, and whether he's got I mean, as a number 2, you probably don't have your own backroom staff, do you?
Mark, just fictitiously, I'll make you manager for the next 2 or 3 minutes.
Okay.
What needs to happen to West Brom to take them on to the next level?
Well, I think we got to get someone in. I mean, got to hang on to one or two key people. I mean, this hiatus with having nobodies led to a lot of rumours about Ben Foster maybe going to QPR. I don't think we can afford to let him go. He was player of the season last year. Malumbu's talking about going to Spurs or Newcastle, but I mean, he's tied into a 3-year contract, so hopefully they don't have to let him go unless they get good money for him. So I think essentially hang on to people we got and hopefully find one or two bargains to strengthen the squad in the summer.
All right, Mark, thanks for joining us. But before you go, a word on England in the Euros. How are you feeling about England's chances?
Well, I think, Roy, I mean, he's had 2 friendlies, had 2 clean sheets and 2 1-0s. I think we'll be quite hard to break down, but we don't seem to have taken a massive number of strikes. And I think, Defoe and Carroll, bit of a gamble. So I'm not sure we'll get the goals we need, but I don't think we'll concede too many. Mark,
is it your dog I can hear there?
It is, yes.
Can we see your dog, and can your dog make a prediction?
I'll get the dog, and I'll
get the dog.
Back in a second.
I mean, we had the octopus in the World Cup, didn't we? Paul the octopus.
Is there an elephant doing it?
There's an elephant doing it. I forgot the name of the elephant.
Ellie.
Thanks, man.
Too easy.
Oh, look at that.
Okay, we want to know who's going to win, Mark.
What's the name of the dog?
Tilly's this dog.
Tilly.
Who's going to win the Euros? I think she says England, but she's always been an optimist.
Tilly, who's going to win?
Tilly.
Yeah. This is incredible. This is groundbreaking television. We are having a discussion with a dog.
I've got an option.
You got away with dogs.
Here's the other one.
Oh, what's going on there? He looks happy, that one. There we go.
There you go. England.
England. Sausages. Whoa.
Mark, thank you very much for your time.
Pleasure.
Enjoy the tournament. I'm sure we'll chat with you.
He's a ringer for Alex Stewart.
Fantastic. Right, Mark Smith, West Brom fan there, and he
Stay ahead of the game with Sports Tonight Live. Don't miss a thing. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Search for Sports Tonight Live on Facebook and like our fan page. Follow Sports Tonight TV on Twitter and tweet us your thoughts and opinions. Sports Tonight Live, it's the platform for the fans.